The Shape is finally back in theaters after being delayed a full year due to the pandemic, but can this film continue to shake off the frankly bad luck that the Halloween sequels have? Well, let's find out. Halloween Kills is the 12th installment into the Halloween franchise, but only the third in this timeline. That's right, back in 2018, David Gordon Green, along with the folks over at Blumhouse, decided to reboot the Halloween franchise, but to only keep the original 1978 film in continuity and kind of just disregard the other sequels and pretend like they didn't happen. Honestly, who could blame him? This film takes place immediately following the events of the 2018 film, and we follow Laurie Strode and the rest of Haddonfield as the town bands together to take down Michael Myers once and for all. Although it may seem like something of a spoiler to discuss, it has been made pretty public that this is the second film in a trilogy, with the next installment, Halloween Ends, coming right around the corner. So knowing that this film is the middle chapter in a trilogy and that there will most definitely be a sequel, it kind of seems like the job of this movie is a pretty simple one, right? You essentially just have to follow up the events of the prior film and get us excited for the sequel. Oh yeah, also all the while giving audiences some great kills and an even better time at the movie theaters. And by that measure, yeah, Halloween Kills is actually a really solid installment into a series that has had a shockingly bad track record up to this point, and for actually a pretty wide array of reasons, which I think this movie actively avoids. Now, for one, this movie is, as I said, it's pretty simple. This is a pretty cut and dry sequel. Michael Myers survived what was surely his certain demise after being shot and seemingly burnt alive, and then he just kind of sort of kills a lot of people. And if you're looking for a Halloween movie that really tries to reinvent the wheel and really take a big swing, I gotta tell you, you're watching the wrong Halloween sequel. But I also think that it's worth noting that this movie isn't completely devoid of substance. In fact, really the contrary is true. This film actually does have a surprising level of socio-political kind of undercurrent to it, because in this film you have an entire town that had lived in the shadow of Michael Myers for decades. And Laurie Strode was pretty much a personified vessel for the trauma that this entire town had endured, much like a lot of women had very publicly come out against right around the release of this movie. And that film, much like this one, shows the aftermath of that. But this film really does take this turn to kind of demonstrate this sort of mob mentality that people can really embrace in times of fear. Facts and objective truths can become manipulated by some very angry people, and this film shows what can happen when those very angry people try to take this sense of power into their own hands. And keeping in mind with what's happening pretty recently in this country, it's not exactly difficult to draw comparisons here. And it honestly really surprised me with this film, actually, how intentional this message was, because I certainly did not expect that to be such a big part of this movie. Sure, the genre of horror has been very political even since its beginnings, but the Halloween series itself, not so much. But I think the real question you have to ask yourself to determine whether or not you think you're going to enjoy this movie is, what do you want out of it? If you want a movie that really does twist and develop the lore of Michael Myers and makes you see him in an entirely new light, again, you're looking for the wrong Halloween movie. But if you want a movie that really seems like this big love letter to what Carpenter created, and it really does feel that way too. And I don't want to spoil too much because I think that there is actually a lot of fun surprises here, but there are a lot of characters who were in the original Halloween film who show up again here, some of whom are even portrayed by the same actors who did so over 40 years ago. And considering slasher movies are sort of making a comeback with movies like Malignant, which I didn't get a chance to review on this channel, but I loved, by the way, and also with the upcoming Scream and the Chucky series, and so much more. It's just so fun to see a genre and a movie explicitly just sort of revel in the brutality of it all. Because the Halloween sequels really can fall prey to becoming far too complicated for their own good, and kind of just lost sight of what Carpenter had originally established. And although I don't think that this movie really is able to surpass what he did back in 1978, I honestly don't think that it's trying to. This is a damn fun movie, and if you guys are a fan of this series in particular, I think you all are going to have such a great time with Halloween Kills. So did you guys see Halloween Kills? Where does it rank in regards to the other films in this series? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below, and you can subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie-related things. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.